iOS and Android.
In Missouri, a state sick leave mandate is now in effect, but legislators are still working to change it. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, social work students at Pitt State develop leadership skills while addressing community needs. And the Missouri Treasurer shares information on state-sponsored education savings plans in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A bill in Missouri would undo a proposition supporting paid sick leave and minimum wage increases. This is KOIM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. That new Missouri law took effect just last week, mandating the accrual of paid sick leave, something voters approved in November. But now, as KOIM Samantha Walker explains, some state lawmakers hope to pass a bill that would change that law.
Since Missouri voters passed Proposition A in November, there have been challenges from groups who don't want to see it implemented.
Workplace policy decisions are really left between an employer and an employee and should not be mandated by the government.
A legal challenge was even brought to the Missouri Supreme Court, with testimony arguing the text of Prop A didn't follow proper election rules. In late April, the court upheld the proposition, saying the court found, quote, there was no election irregularity and the election results are valid.
I would like to see it just go into place and be a sign of progress that at least something in the Missouri democratic system still works.
The paid sick leave portion of Prop A officially took effect May 1st. Now here's what that means for eligible businesses. For employees that are working 30 hours, that means they've accrued at least 1 hour of paid sick leave. But lawmakers say that's not the end of the issue. The Missouri Chamber of Commerce is now backing efforts in legislature to change the mandates brought on by Prop A.
I think also our business community needs to hear that our elected leaders also stand with them and want to make sure that we are a state where businesses can flourish.
This is a group of people who already have a belief structure, and even when that belief structure is challenged by the will of the people, they will use their levers of power to overturn the will of the people.
House Bill 567 would replace the paid sick leave mandates established by Prop A. Currently, employers with less than 15 workers must allow workers to earn at least 40 hours per year. For larger employers, it's at least 56 hours. The bill would make the act only applicable to employers with 25 or more employees who work on average of at least 35 hours per week. Employees can't use or accrue more than 56 hours per year. The bill would also allow for the use of sick leave to be denied in circumstances where it would disrupt the employer's operations. HB 567 would allow minimum wage to increase to $15 in 2026, as voters approved, but it would no longer adjust for inflation like Prop A established.
You just wish that some of these folks in power would say, yep, you won this one, and then move on.
The bill was passed through the Missouri House in March. The state Senate will also have to pass it for it to go to the governor. Reporting in Missouri, Samantha Walker, KOIM News.
Now, the Missouri legislative session ends on May 16th, so of course those in support of House Bill 567 hope to get it to the governor's desk by then. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
And it turned out to be a great Monday, great weekend, great Monday, but showers and thunderstorms, mainly non-severe, back in the forecast. Moving in, this is mainly going to be late Tuesday, but just periods of showers and thunderstorms through the week, which of course we need an extensive period of time to dry out. Mild temperatures all week long, but it does look like we're going to get another great weekend as we head into this weekend. All right, tonight's fine, late tomorrow. So here's 3 p.m. showers, some rumbles of thunder, scattered showers and thunderstorms kind of lift through. Increasing again, especially after midnight tomorrow night, and then heading into Wednesday morning, and we just continue this trend all the way through Thursday as well. 70 in Joplin, 72 in Pittsburgh, so it looks pretty good if you want to get outside this evening. 60s and then down into the 50s. We'll talk more about the rain here in a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. Authorities respond to a fatal crash today in Chanute, Kansas. The crash happened on K39 this morning about 6 a.m. Authorities say a northbound vehicle and a southbound pickup truck collided head-on at the center line of the highway. The driver of that northbound vehicle, Teresa Phillips of Chanute, died at the scene. The driver of the truck suffered serious injuries. He was transported to KU Med Center in Kansas City. Authorities are investigating reports of gunfire from a vehicle in Frontenac overnight. Happened around 10:15 p.m. in the 800 block of North Cayuga Street. No injuries are reported. The suspect's vehicle is described as a dark-colored Chevrolet Avalanche. Anyone with any information is asked to contact the Frontenac Police Department. Pitt State social work students are stepping up and giving back, showcasing a lineup of philanthropic projects aimed at making real change in their communities. From foster care support to mental health advocacy, these students are addressing some of society's most pressing issues. Many say their projects have a personal connection to them or to someone they love.
Collected carbon monoxide detectors, smoke detectors, and first aid kits. These are items that all foster homes need to have in order to become licensed foster homes.
The goal was to try to get as many people on campus by tabling to raise awareness and to get signatures to present to this legislative session.
And I then partnered with all these resources you see here to host an independent living fair.
The professor says students gained valuable leadership skills while benefiting people in the Pittsburgh area. Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik made a stop in Joplin today. Malik's on a tour throughout the state to spread awareness about the Mo ST 529 Education Savings Plan. It's offered by the Treasurer's Office. Today, the Economic Security Corporation's Head Start program held an event for Malik to share the benefits of investing in an educational savings plan with Joplin residents.
A voluntary program, you can start it whenever you want, but the earlier you start, better it is for you, so that you have longer time period to save that money, put in that money, which grows over time. But there is no minimum set amount. You can start with $5. You can put in any amount of money.
The Head Start program seeks to provide financial literacy classes to parents focusing on budgeting. Pittsburgh High School celebrates as senior baseball player signs with McPherson despite injury challenges. John Dales has that story coming up in sports. But up first, public broadcasting in Arkansas could soon take a hit after a presidential executive order. We'll have details.
Dust, pollen, and season now through June 2nd.
Recently, President Trump signed an executive order to cut federal funding to public broadcasters, NPR and PBS. These cuts could have serious ramifications for Arkansas PBS's budget, which depends largely on federal funding. Andrew Mobley has that story.
Trump's executive order yesterday comes after complaints by the president and many conservatives across America that the country's largest public broadcasters have a left-leaning political bias.
It bothers me that sometimes PBS gets collared in with NPR. I really think that they're two different animals. NPR goes way too far in their opinions.
But where local NPR stations receive on average 8 to 10% of their funding from the federal government, 15% of Arkansas PBS's budget is federally funded.
It's not like we've got a lot of extra money laying around. I mean, what would we cut? Well, something would have to be cut to survive.
PBS brought this on themselves. As it says in the executive order, their news agency side has been very biased.
State Senator Dan Sullivan is one of Arkansas PBS's most vocal critics, taking issue with its poor performance in audits and during this most recent session, threatening to dissolve its board and place it directly under the Department of Education.
At home, and we watch a lot of PBS broadcasting. When it comes to their news hour, I turn it off. The state or the federal government should not be spending public dollars on news programming.
It's unclear when or if the Trump administration will enforce the executive order, but if it does, the situation may be dire for Arkansas PBS.
There's not going to be any other entity that broadcasts the legislature, the meetings, and providing the transparency in government that Arkansas PBS does. There's not going to be anybody else that tells the stories of Arkansas and the history of Arkansas like Arkansas PBS does. And there's nobody else that's going to educate Arkansas's teachers and its students the way Arkansas PBS does. A horrible loss for our state to encounter if PBS was shut down. I hope that's not the case.
A little later, the OKC Thunder look to continue to roll toward a title. John has a preview of their second round matchup coming up in sports.
Plus, we have more showers and thunderstorms returning. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, we had a beautiful weekend, and really Monday looked pretty good as well. Just about a perfect day. But, of course, we have more rain chances, which are going to be pushing in as we go through this week. And let me show you why. So we're looking at national picture. You can see a big storm system, which is out across the central parts of the Rockies. Thankfully, this isn't a big severe weather setup, which we never want to see in the month of May. But what we got going on, it's called a blocking pattern. We have a cutoff low here, meaning cutoff from the main flow of the jet. And then we got another one out across southwestern parts of the United States. But because this guy's here, this guy can't push into the central plains very quickly. It's going to kind of mosey its way toward us. The other aspect is because the jet stream's up in Canada, we don't get a whole bunch of upper level dynamics. So yeah, it definitely has a lot of rain. We're going to get some rain, some showers and thunderstorms. But for the entire first week of May, full week, we don't have to worry about much in the way of severe weather, which is great news. All right, so as we go through the next couple days, it inches closer to us. Here's Wednesday morning. Hit and miss showers, few thunderstorms, finally dies out as we go late this week, meaning we get another fantastic weekend, but a change next week. Jet stream much farther dip to the south out of Canada. That's when severe weather chances will start to return, but at least we don't have to worry about that the next few days. Evening hours look good. Let's go into Tuesday morning, lower 50s. Mid and upper level clouds increase through the morning. Here's about the noon hour. You can see some showers picking up northeastern Oklahoma. May get a few rumbles of thunder as well. Here's 2:30 in the afternoon as this batch kind of works through during the afternoon hours. Kind of falls apart, but a little bit on the wet side as we go through the afternoon. Then on and off showers, a couple rumbles of thunder as well tomorrow night, especially after midnight into Wednesday morning. So here's 6:30 on Wednesday morning. Then we just do it again all day long on Wednesday. Hit miss showers, couple rumbles of thunder, a lot of clouds, a little bit cooler on Wednesday because we're going to have the rain working through. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms again starting to pick up late Wednesday night as well. So those rain chances, they're not there tonight. Most of tomorrow they're not. But as we get into Tuesday afternoon and evening, you can see we get up into those scattered showers, a little bit more numerous tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, and then scattered showers continue during the daytime hours on Wednesday. How much rain could we get? Not near as heavy as what we saw last week, thankfully, but a lot of areas, a half an inch, maybe upwards to an inch in spots, just keeping that ground kind of moist. Great shot. Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. Look at all the cumulus clouds out there. Temperatures look fantastic. Most of us 70 to about 75 degrees. So if you're getting out this evening, looks great. 60s down into the 50s. And as we go into your Tuesday, a lot more clouds and those rain chances will start to increase, especially once we get after about 3 or 4 p.m. Those hit and miss showers and thunderstorms. 66 Wednesday, on and off showers and a few thunderstorms. 69 on Thursday, showers. Friday we start to dry out. Another fantastic weekend, mid 70s, plenty of sunshine this coming weekend.
It's funny, it's Monday and we're already looking forward to the weekend.
Gotta stay positive here.
Yeah, well, it's a great weekend ahead. Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, Pittsburgh Purple Dragon signs to play baseball at the college level, and Pitt State and Missouri Southern softball both earned bids to the NCAA tournament. John Dales has those stories and more. It's coming up next in sports.
Homeowners time is running of the Ozarks.
Our local student athletes have less and less time remaining in the 2024-25 school year, and this afternoon at Pittsburgh High School, a Purple Dragon makes his plans for the future official. Pittsburgh High School senior Jet Burgess signs a letter of intent today to play baseball at McPherson College. The future Bulldog has faced more than his fair share of difficulties in his recruiting journey. Burgess missed a large majority of his junior year last year due to an elbow injury, and he's still battling back from it right now.
I knew it was going to be a long journey. Once I got the results back, knowing I was going to get surgery, it was a lot of rough nights, but eventually put my head down, accepted it, went to work, and just said I'm going to come back from this, and did. And now I'm, like you said, now I'm up to 40 pitches or whatever it is.
And this morning, the entire 64-team field gets released for the NCAA Division II softball tournament. Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State both enter the day hoping to hear their name called. That's exactly the case for Missouri Southern. The Lions celebrate this morning as they receive the number 6 seed in the Central region of the NCAA tournament. Pittsburgh State softball makes it as well as we show you the full bracket for the NCAA Central region. The Gorillas are the 5 seed. They're headed to Edmond, Oklahoma for the regional hosted by Central Oklahoma. Lions, on the other hand, they're going down to Southern Arkansas, who hosts the other Central Regional. Missouri Southern's first game is against 3 seed Augustana. That's going to be Thursday afternoon at 3. It's the only meeting of the year between these two teams, and the Vikings are currently riding a 21-game winning streak. The format of an NCAA tournament regional is double elimination only until one of the 4 teams remain. Now, their group also includes Southern Arkansas and Harding. Pittsburgh State's first game in its regional is against the team who just knocked the Gorillas out of the MIAA tournament this past weekend, and that's Rogers State, who not only beat the Gorillas on Friday, but also twice in the regular season. Top-seeded Central Oklahoma and 8th seed Minnesota State round out their group of 4. And in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder are back in action tonight. Paycom Center is the site for Game 1 of their second-round playoff series. It's a battle between the 2 frontrunners for the 2024-25 League MVP. It's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the Thunder and Nikola Jokic from the Nuggets. SGA led the Thunder to a 4-game sweep over the Grizzlies in their first-round series. That's given them 8 days of rest coming into tonight's contest. On the contrary, Denver needed the full 7 games in its opening round to take care of the Clippers. The Nuggets have just 1 day of rest between winning that Game 7 and tipping things off tonight in OKC. They're set to get started at 8:30. I'll keep you updated on the score later tonight at 9 on Fox 14 and 10 o'clock right here on KOAM. That's it for sports. We're back right after this.
After an auto four-state hero.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have the latest on the White House's efforts to ramp up deportation. Plus, new rules and regulations go into effect for livestock shows in the Show Me State. And some elementary school students are learning a lesson from Star Wars. After all, you couldn't have Cinco de Mayo unless you had May the 4th. Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Well, we have a beautiful weekend.
Yeah.
And we have another nice weekend ahead of us, but we have to get through a bit of rain on the way.
We do, but not much in the way of chances for severe weather, which is fantastic. 72 tomorrow, 66 Wednesday, 69 on Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the first half of next week, fantastic weather.
We'll take fantastic. Put that down on your calendar. We'll order some more. Final sports notes.
I mentioned it earlier, but looking forward to Game 1 between the Thunder and Nuggets tonight. It's Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, probably 2 of the best players in the NBA, if not the best 2.
Be quite a matchup. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.